we are actually not going to make this video about claymation this time. We are instead going to cover something that I think you'll like quite a bit for about 7 minutes, and it is Electric Boogaloo 2 version of why I don't like topics and focusing, or in other words, why do I make topics for videos? This is one of the most biggest hot takes I've ever had on this channel, other than the life trauma stuff, and the reason I didn't always niche down claymation as much and other stuff as well. But the idea of topics on videos and stuff like that, even aside from quality content, is like why I don't like the topics and focusing thing. It's like every time I come up with a topic for a video, it's not just because I have something to say. It's because I'm worried about what people think of me if I make a video without a focus. It's like if it comes down to an actual scatterbrain moment, then that's what it's going to be. But what if it's actually my philosophy for wanting to make sure that I actually was being my honest self, even if it had nothing to do with a topic, which would be its own paradox. And I don't blame myself for that. But it's like, oh, and by the way, having 6 more minutes to talk about this, yippee. Nah. But like, there is a weird gambit with having to know that my weird abstract philosophy, and I'll keep calling it that, for having these ideas that don't have to be necessarily focused on one thing at a time, comes down to the fact that I just want to be myself. And why does myself have to be something that's not focused or topic oriented? Is because I wanted to become everything, right? So I didn't have to choose for myself what I wanted to be, or wanted to have a goal for. It's not that I never had an intention to actually become anything. It's I wanted everything anyway. So it was like, had no type of impression for that. That being said, why do I like topics though? Why don't I like focusing? It means that I have to make a sacrifice for what I want. And it also means that I have to actually be specific about what I want. And not just become everything or not have every single thing be its own sacrifice at the same time. I have to eventually be able to choose. So when I don't like video topics, I don't like being able to discuss or make content for things that happen to be about a very specific thing. It has to be a specific example in the real world of something that I can prove in my own personal life. But it can't just be like that every single time in my own experience, because that's not who I am. And I still have to pick an identity even then. So there you go. But yeah. Not gonna pull a woe was me kind of thing with that, but that's my explanation for that. Am I bluffing if this is gonna be 7 minutes? We're still about to push 3. We can push for 4 more. I think I can do this. How have you been, by the way? This has been a few videos on the same day, per the 2 to 6 per day thing I used to do before, which I still will do in the future, as I've been saying a lot. Of number of uploads per day, but yeah. Something I'll pull as an example, finally. Feel Good Kenny made a video update about his puzzle content, and I'm like, I actually am proud of the guy, considering that he has been through quite a bit, not just from the depression content, but even the fact that he is taking baby steps into making better content. And even he is focused on what he's going to do with it, right? He doesn't just talk about stuff, whether it happens to be about philosophical aspects to, which aren't necessarily philosophies, but they're about like things like not needing to worry too much about himself, even though he's still a self-improvement focus, and that's still a good thing about that. But Kenneth Stahl, his approach to baby steps and being a better person over time, some people may not be behind that too well because they think he's taking too slow. But my impression of that is that basically, yes, maybe progress is slow, but everyone goes at their own pace and swims in their own lane. So when it comes to someone like him who happens to know what better suits him, even if it's just puzzles or depression discussions or like a life philosophy and doing his best no matter what, making baby steps, that still works out. So effectively, this video has become 2 different topics. It has become a topic about Kenneth Stahl's life discussions content, which, by the way, Leo Scar does one as well. I can link Leo Scar in the description below if I can have time, but Leo Scar and Kenneth Stahl and other people. Even Spin Cycle, for that matter, and Happy Pun when he's active. And I even will shout you out too, Quinn is Limitless. Yeah, thank you. Quinn is Limitless for actually some of the really exciting things he's been up to lately, which are like the 300 subscribers he got recently, and the collab he did with Jacob Tiller, the podcast of that, some of his own comedy skits, you name it. So I mentioned those 3+ people as my own examples of people who make content, whether it's specific or not. Now, going back one more time into why I do not like Hot Topics and Focus Electric Boogaloo. I don't have anything against being specific. I don't have anything against well, maybe I'm lying about that, but I don't have anything against making a specific video for a specific reason. I'll even get into claymation for this one. This one time. Imagine I go straight into a long-term project for claymation, a longer-term claymation project where I'm like, I'll make a full shot list of camera angles. I'll buy freaking Dragon Frame 5 or 6 for that matter. I'll literally have I'll have like background designs and prop settings and all these custom sets, and be careful with the claymation prop sculpting so it doesn't look smudgy, and then have all these things done, like multiple prop animations, having multiple cuts and edits for like different like prop setups and retakes on filming and all that. This whole quality content setup that can actually be worth it, and it would be by then. Would that be a topic focus? Yes and no. It is focused on being quality. It is focused on being a complete project setup for something that I will care about in the long run because it's being done in the long run. And it will be worth it depending on the attitude I have for that in that moment of time. But does that mean it's being focused on? Depends on what it's focusing on. Is it focused on the theme, the story, the idea itself, the concepts in that idea, the fact that it's aspectually being a film on YouTube video thing, that it will be a complete project in real time for that real world thing? Is it focused and topic oriented because I said so? Or is it focused and topic oriented because it has to be? Or is it a focused topic because without one, my channel won't grow? Or is it a focused topic because focusing on something means it is something, and eating something is worth it?